Hello, and here we are on 16 years and now kid free. Buckle yourselves up, this is going to be a bit of a long one. I've had an amazing week. Right, so after North Norfolk, I came all the way up to Horncastle, and as you saw, excuse the cars going past, and as you saw, I was lucky enough to go backrooms in the Sir Joseph Banks Museum. One of my highlights of my life. You know, I'm not the sort of person that gets invited to the backrooms of, you know, the Natural History Museum or anything like that. Brilliant place, lots of antique shops, very small place, a place where I learned in the morning not to talk too much to everyone, but by the afternoon learned to talk too much to everyone. Yeah, bit of a irony going on there. But yeah, it's a beautiful little walk. Not many places to stay. I wouldn't say it's a place to go and see specifically. If you're up in this area, I would say that's one place you need to pop into. Because yeah, it's a lovely little place, beautiful architecture, and as I said, the Sir Joseph Banks Museum, very surprising, free entry, which I absolutely love. Yeah, and that's Horncastle. Then Cleethorpes, beautiful walk down the beachfront, but I was only there for the morning really, meeting up with, well, I was meeting up with some friends afterwards. We'll get to that in a second, and that's where I had the strange encounter with the old man that thought I'd been out in the town and sleeping in a public toilet for some reason. But there we go. So such is the strange thing in the world. Oh, if you can hear whistling, that's just my hearing aids, you know, just one of them things. You get used to it after a while, especially me. I've been wearing them for 7 years. Yeah, and then we have Grimsby. Well, lesson learnt, really. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not even, you know, in my early 30s, you know. Next month I'm 39. Year off being 40. And as you can tell by my ball patch, that's why I should really put my hat back on. Not I nearly lost yesterday. Just hours after I bought it. Silly me. But yeah, brilliant time, you know. If there was a way of me going out and, you know, not drinking anymore, or not going excessive drinking to the point that you're awake at 8:30 in the morning, that's the way to go. Cheers, Bridie. Cheers, James. Cheers, everybody. To that. Grimsby itself, I really couldn't tell you, to be honest. I was too drunk. And I had to wait until Christ knows what time the following day to feel sober enough and safe enough to drive. And that's a warning to you all. Yeah, there's no point in saying, oh, I don't drink and drive, and then you go out first thing in the morning while you're still proper over the limit. There's no point to it. You know, it's just no point to it. You lose your license, you lose your job, you lose your life. You know, it's just stupid. Especially when you get into this age, you know, that's a young person's game. You know, back in, you know, your late teens, early 20s, late 20s, maybe your early 30s, you know, but while you're there doing that sort of stuff, do it when you're younger. When you get to this age, there's no point really. There's so much more out there that you can discover rather than being down the pub every weekend. Yeah. And then after that, as I said, I needed a map because I couldn't remember everywhere I went. Where did I go after that? No, tell a lie, I lied. Actually, I got that wrong way round. I actually went to Lincoln before I went to Cleethorpes and Horncastle. I must admit. Jesus Christ. I can't even remember where I stayed overnight. I've been done so much. Lincoln. Not the best idea to go straight from North Norfolk, Horncastle, straight into Lincoln, into a busy city. I'm not really one for busy cities, as you might have told by these videos. But Lincoln Cathedral, and they say it's the best cathedral in the UK. It is, in my personal opinion. I've seen Durham Cathedral, been down home, we've got Canterbury Cathedral. I've seen cathedrals here, there and everywhere else, but the grandeur of that place is just off the scale. Absolutely off the scale. There isn't one part of it that you don't look at with awe and realise it's all made by hand. All of that made by hand. The only down point I would put on it is that they charge so much, and why these places are charging so much to get into it. You know, you're talking on a family day ticket to go to a theme park, and I wonder why, you know, some people don't, you know, understand the British history, don't get the education because they're not out on the weekend seeing this place. When you're charging £13 a ticket, you know, for one person, you know, a family ticket for nearly 40 quid or over 40 quid. You wonder why people are not going to these places. You know, they try and say it's about the upkeep, but no. The sheer foot traffic that you have going through there, you can charge a lot less than that. You know, if you could do a family ticket for under a tenner, you will see swathes of people going there and enjoying these places and understanding more about the British history, English history, you know, UK history. You know, yeah, like the Sir Joseph Banks Museum. He funded the Endeavour voyage. You know, that took Captain Cook around the world and discovered Australia. That's free, and you get to understand that. And so it is a proper bugbear of mine why people do that, because it's just pricing people out of education and out of history, and it's silly. Right, now I've had me rant about that. Other than that, it's really busy. The architecture there is brilliant, especially the Tudor style architecture there. Yeah, it's really busy. Even I was trying to rest going up the hill because I come from the Romney Marsh. So marshland, swampland, it's flat. Yeah, and it was funny because you're trying to rest, and because of the sheer weight of people that are going up there, they just push you along. And it was absolutely crazy. But it's a worth going to see. And then, yeah, after that is when I went to Cleethorpes and Grimsby. And, yeah, you ever see that video, you won't ever see a video like that of me again. And if you don't see yourself in that video when you've been that drunk, you're lying to yourself. Absolutely lying to yourself. Then, after there, I went to Moreton, because that was where I was staying overnight. Can't say enough about that. I'll come back to Marton. I'll come back to that in a minute. And then I went down to go to Sherwood Forest, which was a big mistake. It's just a tourist trap. You know, go into your local woods, dress up as Robin Hood, Marilyn, and in the Merry Men. It'd be a lot cheaper and a lot more fun, to be honest. It's expensive for wherever you park. You can't overnight park anywhere because they just put huge tree trunks in the way, or there's 1,000 signs up saying no overnight parking. But go and stay at this campsite for £60 to £70 for a night. Stupid, absolutely stupid. So yeah, and at that point I was running low of everything, and I just had to make my decision of being somewhere to stay overnight for a couple of days. I did try a place that was nearby, but it ended up being a truck stop, and I really wasn't feeling it to stay there. And then I ended up in a lay-by by Retford. Oh my god. Yeah, what a place. I thought it was sketchy where I was staying because I was right by the A640 or 460, one of the two. I'm really terrible with remembering names of stuff. That was really sketchy. You had people coming up, you know, your teenagers coming along in their cars late at night, smoking the old reefer and wacky backy, whatever the hell you want to call it. But other than that, the second you got away from that, the canals there, the Chesterfield Canal, the people that I spoke to, everybody spoke to you. And that's what I love about coming up to this neck of the woods. People talk, you know, people in the southeast. There is nothing wrong with strangers talking to you. Okay? In my own personal opinion, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. Yeah? Stop getting paranoid about people. Not everybody's out there to, you know, attack you, rob you, or anything like that. Every step of the way that I've done this, I have not planned one part of it apart from going to Chelmsford. The rest of it is people I've met saying where they, you know, where they'd like to go and where they've been, and you should really go and see this. And that's how my trips unfolded. So yeah, I was there for a fair couple of days. I was there for a couple of days. And then good luck came my way and I moved back to Marton. Straight in at number 2 of where I would move to. You know, competition for you. If anybody can name the number 1 place I would move to in the UK, you know, I don't know. It might be a stick of rock. It might be some Blue John, which is apparently a rare mineral up here in the Peak District. But yeah, number 2. If there's more than 100 houses there, I think I'll be exaggerating. But the people there, everybody came and spoke to me. Everybody wanted to know what I was doing, and you know, nice writing that's on the side of my car, and the people that signed it. Yeah, one couple was like, "Oh, don't be silly, come to the pub." I was like, "Okay, I'll come and have a half, but I'm not meant to be drinking." And they're like, "Yeah, that's okay." So they took me up to the pub, and I sat outside with the bar, with the landlord and the landlady. And yeah, my half a pint still lasted me, you know, an hour of talking to them. Because people talk to strangers up here. It's amazing. People of the southeast, stop being scared of strangers. Yeah, and then not last night but the night before, everybody saw that I was eating out the back of my car, and a couple, Butch and Susan, if you're watching this, top people, absolute top people, came along with a bowl of minestrone soup and some tomato and herb pasta, and with a crusty buttered bit of bread and a couple of Peronis. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you really sure? And we're like, no, we've seen you eating out the back of the car. We know you're self-sufficient. We just want to come and give you a bit of, Midlands hospitality. The food was absolutely delicious. You know, I ate it like, if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, like a Super Saiyan or The Simpsons eating everything. Absolutely. I'm not one for minestrone soup, but that was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, and just the people there, everybody was just so nice to me. It's like everybody around here, everybody's just so nice all the time. It's just unbelievable. I cannot believe how unbelievably nice people are up here. Then again, that's because I come from the southeast, which is one of the things I have to learn, is I've got to relax. You know, when I'm driving, I've got to relax. There is no point being in a rush everywhere, because guess what? Nobody else is. And the more you're trying to rush against people that are not in a rush, you're going to end up stressed out. Absolutely stressed out, and there is just no point to it, and I really need to relax and, you know, take things back and just relax a bit. And then, yeah, I had to say, well, I didn't have to say goodbye to Martin, but it was time to move on. It was. And then I ended up going up to the Peak District, and then we had last night. Oh my God. I met Steve, and a Derek, and I can't remember the rest of the names. But the only reason I found that Blakely campsite, Blakely Farm campsite, was I was down in Ashbourne, and I was chatting to an elderly couple and their son, and they were the ones that directed me to it. You know, imagine that in the southeast. Someone directing you somewhere. You must really think they're going to murder you. Oh, they're going to take me down some dodgy lane and murder me. You know, it's not like that. People are friendly. So friendly. And that's how I found that place. And everywhere else is charging nearer to the £40 mark, £30-40 mark. That place, 20 quid. And as I said, I don't really like taking card, but the second I walked in there, they started asking about me. I started asking about them. And within 20 minutes, half an hour, I felt like I've been their mates for my entire life. You know, I was in with the group, in with the jokes, everything like that. And yeah, it was just an absolutely crazy night. And then I was talking to Steve, by his camper van, because he was on a couple of motorbikes. One was a Moto Guzzi, just to any bikers out there. I was chatting to him, and he's done a lot of around the Isle of Man, around the UK, around Spain, around Europe, and things like that. And he was saying, look, I've got the right mindset for it. I've just got to start, leave that southeast worriness behind. Things will work out. You will always come across something. Yeah, and that's what I've done. And to give you a clue what I'm doing for the next few days, they ripped me a list, and they would not stop until they had 10 things on my list. So I've got Manitor, Dovedale, Shelford, Thor Cave, I couldn't believe that, Blue Lagoon, Bakewell, apparently they sell Bakewell tarts there, so Matlock, Chatsworth, Carsington, and I don't know if that's a Hartington or a Martington, but one of them. So that's my next week sorted out, because it's all over the place. So I've got lots of lovely walking to do through the Peak District. Yay. I've got lots of places to go and see. Yay. I've got lots of people that love talking. Double yay. So that's where we are at the moment. Well, actually, where we are is outside Easy Wash Laundry and Ironing Services. And I didn't realise you can actually get it done for you. And the last time I was in somewhere like that was when I was working at Haitian Power Station, and I was staying in Morecambe. And I managed to get, it's a fair few years ago now, but I managed to get my clothes washed and dried and folded for me for £2.50. And then I asked where I'd get a good bit of scram, bit of brekkie. And they said, oh, across the road. I thought it was somebody's house. And it's literally somebody converted their downstairs front room into a kitchen. And that cost me £2.25. So out of a fiver, I got 25p change for a massive fry-up. And all my clothes washed and folded. And if I knew that about this place, I would have done it. But I walked in there and I started doing it myself. And I got my own change. So I thought I won't be lazy. I'll go in and I'll start doing it. Well, running on 15 minutes now. If you actually get all the way to the end of this, good luck. Have a joyous day. I'm going to sort out some bits and find myself somewhere to stay. I might take some videos later, but I think I've tortured you all too much for now. Yeah, have a great day, guys. I'll catch up with you soon. Take it easy. Love you, bye.